So welcome back. I'm Dave from House Bourbon, and here we're going to run through some bottles that I picked up in the Bourbon Trail this weekend. Well, this week actually, up there on a barrel pick on Tuesday and Thursday, one at Whiskey Thief and one at Four Roses. So yeah, stay tuned to see what I got and find out how I got them. It's over, flippers. I have the third spot in line at Evan Williams. Get the fuck out of here. So if you haven't been here before, I'm Dave from House Bourbon, and please like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. And we do general bourbon hunting review videos here, mostly focused on event type stuff. So yeah, if you're into that stuff, hang around and hit the subscribe button. So in this video, not only am I going to show you the bottles I managed to pick up, I'm going to give you how I go about doing it depending on the distilleries I'm trying to hit and the location that I'm at. So in this one, the first bottle actually I turned down because I saw it at Total Wine. It was like $270 something, and I've tried it before, I've had it before, and so I just didn't feel like buying it. Then I watched this video from Jason from Mash and Drum, and he said it was one of the best Mikas barrel strength rise he'd ever had. So I'll link the video here. This is not the exact same barrel, of course, but it's pretty close. It's a 25 BO4 95, and I think it says it was a BO437 or something like that. But tried this guy. It is really good. They're always normally a pretty good one, and I got this from my good friend John at Pop's Liquor. He called me up and asked me if I was interested in it. Probably if I hadn't have seen the video from Jason, I would have said no, but it was cheaper there, about $240 something, I believe, $249. So yeah, picked it up, and it is a good one. I haven't got another one to compare it against, but it's really good. So next bottle I picked up before the trip even started was Buckners 10-year, and this one was picked by my boys out there at Smoky Bourbon Society. I wasn't involved in the pick of this one. I had to work, unfortunately, but this has not been opened, but I've tried a lot of this, and this is a great one. This is still available at Christie's here in Knoxville. So if you're in the area, go hit up Christie's and get yourself one of these, man, because they are going fast. It is 121.8 proof, 10 years Buckners that they said might even be a little bit older than that. So might be in the 11 or 12 years. So, but it is really, really good. Slight nutty flavor to it. Probably a Jim Beam distillate, but hard to say, right? But you know, you don't get many 10, 11, 12-year-old Jim Beams out there. Booker's ain't it. So yeah, man, pick this up. So now we actually start the trip, and on Tuesday with the Smoky Mountain Bourbon Society, we did a pick at Whiskey Thief. So that'll be like a House Bourbon Smoky Mountain pick there, and I'm pretty excited about this. Those guys do some amazing stuff. They got so many unique mash bills. We picked a rye. It is 60% rye, 30% malted rye, 10% barley. So it's like a 90-10 sort of mix, but they got that malted rye in there, and it is, you just don't get this sort of stuff everywhere. So stay tuned. We will be releasing the information on that. All this stuff takes a long time, right? So that's probably going to be July before it comes out. So, but yep, subscribe and stay tuned, and I'll let everybody know how to get one of those bottles. I'm going to do a video. That'll be my next video, showing that whole pick process. Hannah was awesome. She's such a great lady, and she really, showed us how to pick a good barrel there. So we had so many barrels. We had like 7 barrels we had to go through to choose our favorite one, and there were 2, came down to 2, but we finally picked the one. And on the way out, we stopped at their gift shop, and they had just released the Mayday Rye, and this boy is Hazmat. So they do this every year about this time of year, May Day, of course, 1st of May, and once again, it is distilled by them, 146 proof. So that is a monster. We were able to sample it there, absolute monster. Little 375, and I believe the cost was about $90. So, you know, it's not cheap, but man, it's good. So the other bottle I picked up there was this cool little guy, the Bee Sting. Now, this is like a collaboration with a local artist, Bee Sting Studios, or Bee Museum. It was a whole story. I listened. Not very well, obviously, and I've looked it up online. It's very hard. But they've got, I think he's an artist that makes things out of like used and recycled stuff. Well, not recycled, but you know, like thrift store type things. And he's got all these bees and he's stuck them all over. And they're all different. All the bottles had different bees in different places. So that was super cool. Another $3.75 for about the $90-odd range. This comes in 136 proof. And man, they just make some great stuff out there at Whiskey Thief. If you're ever in the area, they're just they're out there by Frankfurt, sort of around the Wild Turkey area, but just off the freeway going to Lousiville. So if you're ever out there, go check them out. They got a little pot still. They do all their own distilling there. They age stuff for all sorts of people. And stay tuned to watch my pick video, which will be coming out in the next week or two. Now we're down to the meat and potatoes.
Potatoes!
So when staying in Louisville, there's a couple of different plans of attack, right? I normally stay somewhere pretty close to maybe Mikas, right there on Whiskey Row. There's a Holiday Inn there that I stay there a lot. And so what I did is basically picked Mikas. I was going to line up early at Mikas. Now, you don't need to get there super early, like 2 a.m. sort of stuff, unless there's something super special happening. And it's a downtown in the city, so I wouldn't recommend it anyway. But these places open about 10, and if you get there about 9, you'll get in line and you'll be fine. So, and they also have a lot of scooters out there. So what I do is I just line up at Mikas, if I chose Mikas, and if they have something I want, I'll line up and get that bottle. If I don't, or after that, jump on a little scooter down to Old Foresters.
Still want to go to Aspen? Oh yeah! Okay, let's go, buddy! Let's go west! Go west, boy!
And check what they've got. And if they don't have anything, you could scooter or honestly just walk. Like this distance we're talking about is probably from Mikas to Old Foresters, maybe 5 or 6 blocks. And then Evan Williams is in the middle. Evan Williams is a bit of a hit and miss. Like at the moment, they're dropping something pretty special, but it's not always common that they do that. But they don't open till 11. So that gives you a little bit of later option to maybe hit them up at some other time. So on this day, I lined up outside of Mikas. I was there probably about an hour early, waited for about an hour, and they always combo their stuff. So they had a combo of barrel strength rye and bourbon. Well, I just got the barrel strength rye. So and you know, when they combo it, the price can be pretty hefty. And that's actually a pretty good combo. Normally they'll combo like an allocated bottle with just one of their sour mash, their bourbons, or their standard ryes. So anyway, always comes in a little black box. So it wasn't really anything I wanted. Jumped on a scooter, took off down to Old Forester, and tell you the truth, there was nothing there at that point either. So I had heard on the Old Forester page that they were dropping some 117s. So, and that's actually a very good resource, right? The Facebook pages, they're check them out. They're called like, what does Mikas have today? What does Old Forest have today? What does Buffalo Trace have today? It just keeps you track of what might be dropping at that time when you're visiting Louisville or the Bourbon Trail. So I'd heard on the Facebook they had just released the 117. So back on my scooter, turn around. This was probably about 45 minutes after open, and picked up the 117 bottled and bond rye. So I'm pretty excited to get this one, especially with the new President's Choice rye coming out in a little bit. This could be sort of heading towards an idea of what that might taste like. A little bit older. This is bottled and bond, so it's 100 proof, but we'll try that out here in a little bit. You could get 4. So managed to get a couple for a few buddies. Got the one. I don't want to start collecting these things too. So yeah, so jumped on my scooter, picked that up, scootering back to the hotel, and as I was going down the road, I was passing Mikas, and I saw a few people coming out with little black combo bags. So I was like, oh, pulled into there, and hello, they are doing well, they weren't. They had ran out. but they had saved some for the people that were on the tour, and they said, well, just hang around, and if they don't want them all, you know, you'll be able to get one. Now they brought out way more than were people on the tour, so I was able to pick up this bad boy. Been looking for this guy all over. This is the Bomburgers PFG, Precision Fine Grain. Now this did come in a combo with one of their standard bourbons. Actually, it came with this, but it has already gone into the barrel. So yeah, as a combo, I think it was, you know, $200, something like that. So, you know, this is delicious. This, look at the color on this bad boy. Like, it is dark. And if you like Bomburgers, this is like a double oaked Bomburgers. It's just extra stepped up Bomburgers. Fantastic. So super happy to pick that one up. And yeah, so another thing that was going on is it's actually Derby week. So that's another thing to time it around. Derby week is a particularly good week to go because they do drop some special stuff because they know a lot of people are in town. And one of the things they drop is what I was able to pick up next. Now this did require not as much effort as what I would have thought. This place opens at 11, like I was saying before. I think I got there about 10 o'clock. I think I got there about 9:30 and there was just nobody there. I went across the road, I had a coffee at a cafe. I parked literally right there where I could almost in a parking spot that allowed me almost to see the door on my rear vision mirror. There was a guy, shout out to that guy, man, I forgot your name, I'll put his photo here or somewhere. It's one of those names where I thought, oh, I might forget that name, I might need to write it down, and I forgot, because if you ever see me, come up and say hi, Dave, House Bourbon, whatever, and then maybe write your name on a card and I'll mention you, but I am shit with names, worse with faces. Yeah, but I'm not good with names, so sorry that guy. But we hung out there, talked the shit for a while. There was a guy in front of us that let us in on some information that was pretty pertinent to what might be coming out in the future. He had friends in Brown-Forman. But anyway, I was able to get this bad boy. Evan Williams, 23 years.
Explosion.
Now, this is a real unicorn. It's 107 proof, 23 years old. For all intents, for everything I've heard, it is tastes way better than Pappy's 23. And yeah, so that will be opening here soon. We'll have to do a special review and crack of this guy, but super happy to get this guy. And like I say, there was only 12 bottles, but they had been releasing 12 bottles every week for the last few little weeks here. And it wouldn't have been too hard to get there compared to where other people, like I know down the road at Bardstown, and that's the other thing. So just across the road from Mikas, there's Bardstown Bourbon Company. Now they don't always have good stuff, but sometimes they do, and right now they were dropping the Cathedral. I did not line up for the Cathedral. I actually had a Cathedral and I sold it to a friend at a really, really good price before it went crazy. So I can't really get another one, and the line there is ridiculous. And I think the main thing is this is not particularly flippable. So this is $430. And you know, on the secondary market, it might go for $650. So not a huge amount of money. The little 375 Cathedral is $100, and for whatever reason, they're selling for $650. So more flippable bottle equals longer lines and requirement to get there super, super early. So yeah, super happy to get Evan Williams 23 and cannot wait to pop this bad boy. And then last, but definitely not least, it's coffee in this glass. But I can use it to put up the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Now this was a win from Total Wine, believe it or not. And yeah, so under my wife's account, because she's lucky and I'm not. Thank you, dear. But yeah, a little tab there with information. I've never owned a birthday bourbon, and I actually have tried this one. This one is one of the higher proof ones that has come out in a long time. It's like 107 proof, and it's a really good one. So pretty stoked to have that guy. another review of that guy will get popped here pretty soon. So that was my bourbon haul. Like I said, it took a quarter to make the first bourbon haul, and 2 days to make the second one. So when you are in the Louisville, Bardstown area, some places to visit are Neat Bourbon Bar. Now it is neat. It's right next to a bottle shop that sells old vintage bottles, which is an amazing, you know, you go in there, you should check it out. It is awesome. Prices are very, very high, but we're talking old, you know, very limited bottles. So the prices are going to be what they are. And then next door, you can actually go and try them. I tried a number of bourbons in there. They had these two King of Kentuckys. One was a new one and one was a couple of years old. The prices were very different. The new one was $60 a pour and the older one was $200 a pour. So I tried the new one because I just like the King of Kentucky is my jam, man. I love it, but I really like to try. The more I can try, probably tried 4 or 5, maybe 6 different ones now. All been great, but they do vary. So that is interesting. And I also got a couple of these big rocker bottles. There was a huge gallon rocker bottle, ancient age, and then there was maybe a half gallon or bigger Four Roses old bottle on the wall. Those pours were very reasonable. They were down into the $25-$6 range, and they were great. You know, like they are nothing like modern day ancient age or modern day lower level Four Roses. They just have a nice sweet finish and just so good with that slight dusty note that you pick up, you know. So anyway, if you want to go in there, you can drink expensive or you can drink not. And speaking of drinking expensive, one of my absolute unicorn bottles that I'd never actually tried, there was a time in Japan I could have got a bottle and regret not getting it, especially with the way the secondary prices had jumped up, but the Wild Turkey Cheesy Gold Foil. So this was from 92, and man, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It is just, if there's one downside to it, it's, and being a high proof guy, it's so crushable, man. And you could sit back and drink. You can't because you know what it is, right? But at 101 proof, it drank so nice. The flavors were unbelievable. They didn't punch you in the mouth with any sort of, you know, power of proof, but just so delicious. And to even have a decent pour, like 4 ounces of it, and just be able to sip on it would be amazing. But you could easily do that. Like with some of the other, like that probably comes in 3rd or 4th of my best whiskeys ever. And I'd say the only downside is with certain things like the Coy Small Batch, you're not drinking 3 or 4 ounces of it. You just couldn't. It'd just be too much. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You leave that up to you. But yeah, fantastic. If you can, the pour of this was not cheap. I think it was probably $65-$75 or something for an ounce. So not cheap, but worth it. You know, if you get a chance to get it, they're getting less and less of them, and the price is going up. So yeah, that was the Neat Bourbon Bar. That is just out in Nulu there, not far from downtown Louisville. So if you're in that area, go check them out. And an absolute mandatory stop is, if you are in Louisville really, or Bardstown, I was in the Bardstown at this point, is Cox Evergreen liquor store. Now, not only are they a fantastic liquor store, and they hide these little unicorns all over the place, and if you find the unicorn, you get to pick one of their unicorn bottles, and that can vary. I think when I was out there was like some barrel proof Old Foresters, so the blue label and the green label, and 117. So nothing ultra premium at that time, but it can be. So yeah, so if you're out there, go hunting for their little unicorns. And I think they're different colors now. There's the little white ones, plastic, and there's a wood one. So the harder to find ones you get, the harder to get bottles. But the real draw to this place is their bar. They have the most amazing bar and whiskey selection you can imagine. I think they sell more King of Kentuckys across the bar than anywhere else on the planet, and I'd believe it. And a little secret here, you probably have heard on other YouTube channels, but I'll tell you, half price pours on Wednesday. So their pours are probably cheaper than anywhere else. Like I think don't know the exact numbers, but say neat, the King of Kentucky was $80, regardless of what I just said it was. At Evergreen, it might be $70 on the regular, so it's $35 on Wednesdays. So actually, I think the numbers were $37. So I tried some more King of Kentucky there. It was absolutely fantastic. Had a 15-year-old Brook Hill from Rare Character. This is another bottle that's absolutely amazing. The prices of these things are, you know, through the roof, but it's worth it. It's a very, very good whiskey without a doubt. So that was another one I tried there. This Colonel Randolph, like I've seen it on secondary a lot. I believe it's a blend of maybe 2 barrels, maybe 3 barrels of buff turkey that they've made into this plastic bottle to look old school. It is not. Once again, prices went through the roof, and it is a very, very good buff turkey. Like I've drunk enough buff turkey now that you can taste it. You know, it tastes like Buffalo Trace, slightly different, but it's good. It's 106, 16-year-old buff turkey. It's not, to me, it's not the best buff turkey I've ever had. It's very good. It's up there, but is it as good as my? It's very similar, actually, very similar, because my Elkwood is a lower proof one, and it's very similar to that. Really delicious, really nice, juicy, watermelon-y type notes in it. But once again, secondary prices are just ridiculous on this thing, and I think it was more just because it looked old, and it's not. So yeah, I was looking for a cheaper pour, so the Booker's Reserve. I have finished my bottle of Booker's Reserve. You can see that in my last bottle kill video, but that was relatively reasonably priced considering what I bought next, but it's great. It's a great pour. Also, what's great is to hang out, like it's a very different crowd in there. There's obviously the locals. Met some great locals that, you know, obviously just hang out there and drink, and then maybe not even bourbon. But you know, the thing with Bardstown is it's such a little town. Like that's what we sort of forget, being bourbon nerds. We think it's Bardstown, but it's full of locals, cool little local small town people that, you know, have all their small town, you know, things going on. It's just super cool to see the difference between local Bardstown people drinking some beers and the bourbon nerds drinking their Booker's Reserves. So yeah, and then just next to me was a man and his wife and his pug. Once again, they've just become subscribers, so shout out to you guys down there. I'd like to say your names, but I'm no good with them. I could look it up, but I don't want to stop the video right now. But you know who you are, and you're awesome. Your pug is great. He was so cool. He just sat on the bar with his tongue out. Cool dog. So you can obviously take dogs there too, so maybe you'll see me and Oscar there in the future. But he got the whole Pappy lineup, 15, 20, 23. I was like, oh, Pappy 23. Never tried Pappy 23 in my life. And half price, how can you turn it down? I think it was $125 a pour, which honestly, at a bar is not a bad price for Pappy 23. So half of that. So yeah, I got me a Pappy 23 pour, and like I say, I like oak a lot. I like old, real oak. You know, like I like an old whiskey. It's just, I suppose you can say, I don't like the way people speed it up. I don't like, it's not even overly oaked. There's a difference between a double oaked product and a 20-year-old product oaked. Just, maybe it's just the age it's set in the barrel, but I found Pappy 23 to be quite delightful. Yeah, it is definitely a step up from Pappy 20. Like maybe the order for me is probably 15 is hard, and I'd have to put them side by side. I should have done what that guy did, but 15 with its little extra punch of proof, and I think it does vary with proof. Like the thing that hurts 20 a lot is it's just a little bit underproofed at 90. 23 is like 95 and change, and then 107 for the 15, but still fucking delicious. Once again, not with secondary, not with anything close to what secondary is, but totally a $400-500 bottle. And if this here is better than that, well, we're on to something, and I can totally see it being it because this is the 107 proof. So once again, super excited. So yeah, that is how I sort of roll in when I'm out there in the Lousiville, Bardstown, Bourbon Trail area. Like I say, use the scooters if you're physically able to. Do not fall over and do not kill yourself. You got to be careful. It is dangerous, but get you around a little bit quicker. And yeah, pick one end, whether it's Mikas or Old Forester. Don't forget about Evan Williams, and definitely don't forget about just getting great pours at their local bars. And if you want the cheapest pours, that's Cox Evergreen. So anyway, I hope you liked that video. Like and subscribe, follow, all those other things, and we will see you next time. I'm editing the videos for the 2 barrel picks we did, Whiskey Thief and Four Roses with Pop's Liquor. Very different pick things, you know, like you couldn't have both amazing, but probably 2 of the best barrel picks you could do, but just very different. Like Whiskey Thief, you're out in there, it's just very relaxed and cool, and then, you know, she's pouring straight from the barrels, thieving it out, and however much you get, and then the Four Roses one is just very refined, I should say, very refined. You got a little spinny thing, and you get 10 samples. You have to try the whole gamut, and we picked bangers on both of those. Once again, you picked a banger. Of course you do. That's what you're always going to say, but no, you do. So I hope you guys hang around, and we will get that information out for you for all these barrel picks we've done here recently. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, follow, all those other things. Join the Smoky Mountain Bourbon Society and hang out there with us talking bourbon shit on the Facebook group and the Discord channel. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.